The 100th Day Project, written by Elizabeth Strauss, illustrated by Marilee Harold Pills. Counting to 100. "Letitia," Mrs. Thomas called, "it's time to wash your hands and set the table for dinner." 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. Letitia finished counting. "I'm coming." Letitia happily walked into the kitchen and went right to work. She set the table for her mother, her older brother, and herself. "What have you been up to?" Mrs. Thomas asked. "You've been in your room the entire time since arriving home from school." "I'm counting to figure out what I have 100 of," Letitia replied. "I have 119 stickers, 104 books, and 102 pennies, but only 74 crayons." "Why do you require 100 things?" Mrs. Thomas wondered. "Tuesday is the 100th day of school," Letitia chirped. "As a 100th day project, everyone needs to gather 100 of an item and present them to the class. Maybe your brother and I can assist with this project, but first we need to eat. Can you get Tyrone and tell him it's supper time?" "100 of something." After the family cleaned up the dishes, they talked about Letitia's project. First, Letitia showed them a large piece of paper. It measured 20 inches on one side and 20 inches on the other. In total, 100 squares were marked on the giant paper grid. "I have to glue 100 objects into the 100 squares," Letitia worried. "If you use your head, that could be easy," Tyrone replied. "It might be easy," Letitia said, "but I want it to be special, not easy. My teacher requires our projects to show creativity. Personally, I want mine to highlight my feelings about school." "Oh, I see. So gluing down crayons or pennies wouldn't work," Mrs. Thomas said. "I guess buttons and bottle caps are out too," Tyrone blurted. "Yeah," Letitia smirked. "Now you see." "Well," Mrs. Thomas said, "let's put our heads together and brainstorm. What have you been doing in 100 days of school?" "Well, we read a new book every day," Letitia answered. "I think reading's extremely cool, more so than doing math or science." Making little books. "What do you enjoy about books?" asked Tyrone. "I enjoy everything about books," Letitia said with a smile. "I like the covers, titles, pictures, and stories. I love listening to my teacher read, and I love reading books myself. But books won't fit on the project grid." Letitia looked at Tyrone and frowned. "We could help you make tiny doll-sized books. Little books might fit on the grid," Tyrone said, "and that wouldn't take long." Letitia wasn't sure, but she started to conceive an idea. "Well, if we made little miniature books, perhaps I could write in them." "Of course you could, Letitia," Mrs. Thomas smiled. "This is completely your project. Remember, we're just your helpers." "Right," Tyrone agreed. "You're the boss." Letitia definitely liked the sound of that. Secret messages. Letitia spent the evening in her room constructing little blank books and then writing in each of the books. She was careful to use her best handwriting, and she had to write very small. After a while, she shared the work in progress with her mother and brother. They were impressed by her idea to write in the books. "Cool," Tyrone confirmed. "Yes," her mother agreed. "This undoubtedly looks creative." Her mother and brother then helped her complete the assignment. On the 100th day, everyone brought their projects to school. Letitia put hers up with the others in her class. At the top, she wrote 100 Reasons I Love to Come to School. The title made her classmates curious, and they began to read the messages inside the tiny books. The special project. "Kate, this one's about you," Mia squeaked. "It says, 'I like to see Kate smile.'" "This book's about George," Kevin joined in. "It says, 'George is always nice to people.'" Soon a crowd formed around Letitia's project. Finally, their teacher decided to read the little books to the whole class. It took a long time, considering there were 100 books, yet after each book, the entire class clapped for the person the book was about. There were books for every student in Letitia's grade and every teacher at the school. There was a book for the custodians, school bus drivers, principal, librarians, and the cafeteria workers, too. Letitia successfully found a creative way to celebrate the 100th day of school. Her 100 reasons why she liked going to school informed 100 people why they were special.